There really is nothing bad about AI. It's actually pretty good what it does. What's bad with AI indirectly is the people that use AI, like these advertisements you get on YouTube that are trying to convince people they can make money using AI, which you probably can, but it's going to be dishonest, whatever it is you're trying to do in some cases. And then it's different. It's if you're using an LLM like ChatGPT or Gemini, um, if you're using those to make money off of stuff, then there's legitimate ways of using that because what it really is, what those LLMs are they are databases. They're just elaborate databases that use plain English in order to get information. I mean, the benefit there is completely obvious that um, it offers a real world benefit to people, and that is to get rid of a lot of the bullshit that's on the internet. You know, something comes to you, you go to Gemini, you ask a question, Gemini gives you the raw answer. Sometimes it doesn't give you the correct answer. You know that you need to prod more, but still, it's for the most part, it's going to clear things up for you and prevent you from getting too involved. And it's probably doing some consultant out of some work. But I mean, how many consultants are you going to come by that are going to dig up that kind of information? How many articles do you have to search for to get that kind of information? How many of those articles are sourcing information from the right kind of articles? I mean, that's a never-ending task, and what these LLMs are doing is just comparing notes, and it's possible that they'll give you the same wrong information that's out on the internet, but for the most part, you're going to get the right answer. Um, if there is any bias, then it's going to become evident once people um, search the articles. I mean, even the AI can develop an understanding of what's correct and what isn't correct. Just by it's not that it understands that it's thinking, but that there's programming that you can put into the AI to have it so that it will compare articles and through statistic determine when something's bullshit or not. And so it's going to give you, for the most part, correct information. And there, you can use one LLM to correct another LLM. Um, you can come up with ways of having the AI train themselves and, to weed out BS. Um, in the case of art programs, used to be a big problem trying to get AI to produce humans with more than that had more than five fingers and produced an accurate number of fingers, and that was all about perspective. That the AI didn't really understand. It doesn't really understand perspective. It doesn't understand three-dimensional perspective. Um, so it, but it, you can still use AI generative art to come up with illustrations or things that get a point across visually. Um, and the AI music also benefits you in that you don't have to go search for royalty-free music that sounds like elevator music. You can actually have something that sounds pretty decent. And so I see it as it's really getting people what they really want and not the same, and not the crap that the legal system has. Um, our legal system is has ruined the content. It has made it so that the content that could be available isn't available, and that consumers are having to pay through the nose to get anything done. And when I put my AI content out onto the web, I put it in a format. I put it out with a public domain license because I don't want people to be subjected to the same shit that bugs me about content out on the internet. I would rather um, people have access to public domain content and not have to check me, contact me to use the content on whatever they're trying to do. I think there should be out there plenty of public domain content, because it's getting crazy. People are getting so, they're just trying to own everything. Um, they're not empathizing with the people on the other end. I mean, there are people that are mad at me because I'm not empathizing with musicians, but I'm really not looking at the musicians. I'm looking at the general population of people and the benefit that is not being offered them of content that's freely available. Maybe there's something to be said about dignity, that there's no dignity in giving free content away for someone. But the thing that I think about is that when you go outside, you see sunlight, you have clean air, you got all these things that God gives you, and then there are those people that are cutting off a section of land and saying it's mine and nobody can get on this piece of land, and that I can use this to make money off of, and the property aspect of things, wanting to own stuff and use it for their own prosperity, but they don't care about anybody else. And that's okay, if you have to if that's the way you have to survive, that's what you got to do. But to do it to a point where you're not really creating the content, you're just trying to section it off and say it's yours. If the content makes itself, what is the likelihood that somebody else is going to really want it? And they could even said about the stuff that I create. So the thing is that I'm just saying, why go to the trouble of trying to own it and just put it out there for free? I think that's the greatest benefit anybody can offer, or can ever have, is to just put it out there for free and to say that that's my way of empathizing with the people of the world. I'm offering them this free service so that they can maybe get off the ground and get into a position where they've got security and they're able to, if there was enough of that kind of content out there, people would actually be able to get into good situations. It's not quite as realistic as giving people access to low-income housing, but maybe it rubs off on somebody in such a way that if I can provide free content, maybe they can do something for others that, is beneficial. If they have money that they might come up with low-income housing, where it's still making them money. It's just much slower. It's not as fast as making as. Uh, I mean, think about it this way: you set up low-income housing on some land. You buy up all the land around the low-income housing. That gets the poor people and the homeless off the streets into the low-income housing. A lot of the people that are on the streets are were people that were in productive um, jobs and stuff that just fell on hard times. Once they get into that apartment and they're able to do well, they get out of it or they stay in it. And either way, it's going to make the community much more valuable. The housing is going to become, um, these people are going to build up houses around that area because they've come to develop relationships with the people in the area, because those people were down and out with them, and they develop those relationships. Then they're going to start wanting to start businesses in that area because that's where all their friends are. And now your land prices are going up. But that's not the way rich people think. They think, oh, if we put this low-income housing on this land, it's going to devalue the land because there's all these poor people living in this complex. That's the wrong way to look at it. But anyhow, I'll just cut off this video.